Didn't Nathaniel Hawthorne write that? I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm positive he did.
Yeah, I don't think I have meningitis.
Okay, good.
I
Glad
don't
we
think
cleared
I
that
do.
up.
Yeah.
Hello, this is the Triad, and everyone is literally dying.
I might have COVID. I'm still waiting on the results. If
my
not, I could
God.
also have mono, TB, and like 15 other things. But not the flu or
Okay,
strep. I tested
listen.
negative for those. So.
There's no way you have
I don't have TB.
TB.
I don't.
Because you haven't been to, like, a third world country recently.
No, I know I don't. But
A
wouldn't
global
it be fucking...
south country.
Wouldn't it
There
be
would be
fucking
Shannon who would get it.
hysterical? Exactly. Wouldn't it be fucking hysterical if
Actually,
I did
no,
that?
it would be Allie who would get it.
Okay, but Allie's also really sick with a kidney thing.
She's got a kidney infection.
Okay, she might not because she was supposed... I need to ask her. She was supposed to call her doctor again because the antibiotics aren't doing anything.
The Condor sisters are always
We're dying. We are.
Yes, they are.
Together,
And
they
if
make
Shannon
one
is
functioning
sick, then
human
I am
being.
Sick.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, so Shelby's also sick because I'm
Yeah, if
sick.
Shelby suddenly leaves, it's because she's throwing up. If Shannon suddenly leaves, it's because her brainstem exploded and she needs to go to the hospital.
No, it'll be because I passed out.
Yeah, because your brainstem is inflamed.
I don't have meningitis.
Yeah, so you say.
do we have a PowerPoint?
Yes.
We haven't even
it's-
done
Pull that up.
intro or
Oh yeah, let's start.
I know.
anything or...
Hold on, there's a really loud truck going by.
I mean, we kind of did an intro. Hannah said we were all dying.
Yeah.
Does that count?
We need to
I'm
do
just tired. I'm not dying.
announcements too, though, because we actually have an announcement this time. So
Oh, I have an announcement. It's two personal
Okay.
announcements.
mine's a podcast announcement that you two are already aware of. So
Oh, yeah.
Personal announcement. Oh, should we like for real introduce?
we can.
Or-
Does everybody know when they're going?
I'm going first, so I
You
will
are.
go second on accident
Yeah.
this time. 'Cause I can't
go
mess
last.
up.
Yes. Okay. Cool. How come you guys only mess up when it's my week?
I don't know, but I just suddenly had another thought.
I just
What was
know
your
I'm after
thought?
Shannon. That's all I know.
Yes. What was your thought, Una?
I don't know, maybe to make this longer because I've fucked everything up, I could just read some tarot cards.
Well, we'll cross the bridge when we get to it. How about that?
No, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
That also works.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive. I'm Hannah,
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Shelby.
Yay.
and everyone is on death's door today.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Announcement number 1. I voted yesterday, as in
Yay.
I filled out my ballot, but I have not sent it in yet.
I still haven't turned my ballot in.
I know. I don't
Because
know
that
when.
requires me to leave the house and I physically can't.
Yeah. Announcement number 2. I bought Peppa a cat water fountain because
Ooh.
1, she never drinks except out of the toilet and it drives me up the wall, and 2, I just have this feeling that she's perpetually dehydrated, so I'm trying to get her to like it.
Cats are, apparently, so...
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna say,
Her-
my cat always gets way more mean when she's thirsty. So,
Yeah,
most cats are always dehydrated.
I know. I'm trying to hydrate this bitch so she stops
Yeah.
biting me. That might just be her problem. Maybe she's just
Yeah.
really thirsty.
Maybe.
Okay, those were my announcements.
Okay. Mine is about that charity Instagram live thingy that we mentioned last week. We have an official date and time and all that nonsense. So it is going to be on October 24th, from 3 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jesus Christ, I cannot talk. So there's going to be us, Wine and Weirdos, which I still can't say, Leave the Lights On, and The Lost Signal are all going to be doing stuff, basically. So, we're going to be, I don't want to say exactly what we're doing, but we're reading a short story that is relevant to our current situations. And,
Oh,
also
we're
gonna
doing
be-
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
officially,
Okay.
yeah.
Good, I'll write some discussion questions.
Yeah. And then we're going to be doing, Hannah is going to be doing tarot readings with Alexis from Wine and Weirdos.
Woo.
So we're going to be on from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
So yeah, if you guys are interested, let us know. I don't have the information on how to get the link or how to donate quite yet, but we will be posting that once we get that information. So,
And
yeah,
again,
we're still working on
will you
finalizing all of this. So.
yeah, it's still being finalized. So,
will you again tell people what they are donating to?
yeah. So this is for the Louisville Bond Fund. I kept saying Band Fund last time because I was mixing up bail and bond fund. Which
We're trying to
donates-
support their band.
Yeah,
You know.
which pays bail money for people who have been arrested for protesting activities. And this is specifically in Louisville, and this is in a direct response to the grand jury lack of ruling, I suppose, in the Breonna Taylor case. So, yeah. I think that was it with that.
Yeah.
Yes, Hannah, that is a very big new
Thank you.
mirror. Thank you.
Sorry, I was throwing up.
Yeah, I
I
think
was
that's it
listening.
with that. We're gonna have a graphic
Dang.
at some point from somebody. We're not in charge of making that, so it's just going to be sent to us at some point. And so we will post that whenever we have that information. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully some of y'all are able to join and hop on and see us live, because it's not any better live. In fact, it's much, much worse. So should be
I was gonna
entertaining.
say,
At least.
we're not edited when we're live, so
Y'all have no idea how much shit I edit out. So, but yeah, that's it on that. If anybody has any questions or anything, just email us or DM us or whatever. I am always on my phone pretty much, so I will see it pretty much immediately, and I can usually respond to it pretty much immediately. So, yeah.
yeah, make sure you ask Shannon directly, because if it's Shelby you're trying to ask something of, I have a really bad habit of thinking I've answered things and then I didn't.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
it's a
I
problem.
And I wasn't even listening, so I don't actually know what was just being discussed. So don't.
Cool. So any questions and comments, just direct it straight to me, because I'm the only one who will actually answer.
Shannon's
questions.
the only adult in this group, and she's the youngest one.
I am. Yeah.
Listen, we
No.
are both adults, but I don't know about you, Shelby, but my brain has so many other things to take care of and think
Oh
about
my
that
God.
no other information can.
I have a lot of
Reach
anxiety around not answering messages.
Yeah,
and
see,
stuff.
I don't have that anxiety.
Yeah, I
Me
do.
neither. I have anxiety
So-
about answering them, so
Same.
I just don't
Yeah, I
answer them.
don't. Yeah.
I
I
shut
have
it down.
anxiety about.
I have
Not answering
anxiety
things
about
immediately.
technology. So
Yeah, I also don't have
just
that.
avoid it completely.
What is
if
that
I can.
noise
It's
that I'm
Sorry,
hearing?
I
Okay,
was-
thank you.
I was putting pepper on my baked potato.
Okay. That's very loud.
My
It's like
bad.
a mouse running.
I thought you were flipping like nail clippers or something in between your hand, like it was metal or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, it is like a metal.
yeah. I thought you were
dispenser
twitching.
thingy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Anyway.
I'm twitching.
I mean, you're
Always.
always twitching. Yeah. So yeah, I think that was it. Also, kind of tacking on with Hannah's voting thing. Vote. Still. Vote.
Oh,
Yeah,
if
do.
you want help filling out your ballot, there's this really great website called Vote Save America. Did we
Yes.
talk about that?
No, we've only done vote.org. Which
Okay,
is also
Vote
a good
Save
website.
America is run by the people who run Pod Save America, and you can go on there and get all of the information about your district specifically, and who's up for re-election, who the judges are, who's in the federal stuff. It's really great, and I
I
use
think
it for
y'all are
mine
really
because
on
I
top of
couldn't-
this, because I don't know anything.
Well, I just couldn't decide between the Democrat and the Independent
Mm-hmm.
in my district, and I was like, I guess I'll just vote for the Democrat because they have a better chance of winning over the Republican, so.
Yeah. Gotta be
Anyway.
strategic about it, you know?
Yes,
I saw
know.
there's this thing floating around on Twitter that like a vote isn't a love letter, it's a chess move. And I think that that's something a lot more people need to be.
Yeah.
That's a thought that more people need to have in their head when they're voting.
Yep.
Like, you don't vote necessarily, especially right now, you don't vote necessarily for the person that you personally want to be in charge.
Yeah, because I personally don't want anyone to be in charge.
No. Well, no. I didn't vote for Biden in the general, or in the,
primaries?
Yes,
Primary.
thank you. Like I said, I cannot talk. The general is the one that's in a couple weeks.
Nope, that's the one that's right now.
Yeah, that's the one that's right now. Yeah, I didn't vote for him in the primaries. Like, still voting for him now, because he's the best chance to get Trump out. Yep. That's it. Like, I'm not happy about it, but what are you gonna do? You know?
So also, I don't know what other states do this. I would really like to know. I guess I could Google it right now. But, Maine is a ranked system, so
yeah, yours
is very weird. I don't understand the purpose of it.
So basically,
I mean I know, but I hate it. Votes.
Yeah, really, because most
No, I don't know why. Explain it to me.
Ranked.
So basically, the way ranked choice works is.
Sorry, I'm making you think.
No, you're fine.
Because like, what's the point? You either vote for them or you don't.
It's literally just...
the thing is... Okay,
God.
okay. It works if you're remembering that the Electoral College is a thing. And that not every... Like, in some states, the winner gets all of the delegates. And in some states, they don't. And so ranked choice is a way to break down who's getting what delegates. Does that make sense?
The only... Wait.
There's only 5 states that do...
Well, some of them have ended.
Primaries.
Oh, in the primaries. No, this is in the general, and it's just Maine that does it still.
Maine's the only one that does it in the general, but 5 states do it for the primary.
Yeah, so anyway, I was like, can I put, because there were only 5 candidates, but 6
6
slots in case you had a write-in, and I was like, couldn't I just put Trump on 6 and not include a write-in?
I feel like they would just skip your write-in because you didn't put a person there.
Well,
but I don't know. You know, we don't use ranked choice here. I don't know. But like
could have made someone up. I could have voted for myself.
Yeah. Like most states that don't have ranked choice
should have put Peppa
pushing for ranked choice Peppa because it's a more fair breakdown for delegates. So like that's interesting that you don't like it.
I didn't like it because I had to vote for Trump. You have to vote for him.
Oh, okay. So it was more just like a moral, like, this is gross kind of a thing.
Yeah, I did not have to put him on the ballot.
Okay.
I also had to vote for, no offense, libertarians, but I'm just not about your system. I had to vote for a libertarian.
Libertarians are just spicy Republicans. Okay?
I know.
That's all they are.
It's so
They
true.
are Republicans. They're just pretending that they're not. They are. Like, I'm not being rude or anything. Like, that's, if you look at their party platform, that's what they are.
Yes. And I don't even like to vote Democratic because I don't really agree with the platform of the Democratic Party. I had to, and I had to vote for the Green Party, which is fine, and I had to vote for, what was the other one I voted for? There was a Libertarian, a Republican, a Democrat, a Green Party. Who's the 5th one?
I don't know. Those are the only big parties I can think of off the top of my head.
It was some random...
It may have been like a Maine thing, you know what I mean, like a local.
It was some guy. Wait, maybe.
Or was it independent?
Hold on. Oh wait, shit. Where'd it go? Yeah, it was Rocky De La Fuente.
Oh, what party is he, or is that the party?
No, that's the man. His party is, I don't know. I think it's the Delta Party, American Delta Party.
What the fuck is that?
What's that?
It's his self-created party. I googled him.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck is...
Anyway, that's...
Okay, well...
The end. I had to vote for him. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's why I'm not into ranked voting. I understand why it's a thing.
It's a more,
I don't like having to vote for Trump. It makes me feel icky.
Yeah, and I understand that. Just, like, removing Trump from the context, you know? In a vote devoid of Trump, it's a more fair way of making those...
I had to vote for Susan Collins, too.
Yeah, I know.
Ew.
It was awful.
Yeah. Well, hopefully...
Sarah Gideon better win.
I mean, you're not technically voting for them. You're saying, this is my last choice.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like, it's not the same binary
I just don't like I had to fill in a bubble by their name.
I know. Yeah.
Morally opposed to it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're just trying to make the disgustingly outdated and racist electoral college more fair, which it inherently cannot be, but that's a separate issue. So,
I mean, at least they're trying something, I guess.
Well,
Hey, speaking of
baby steps,
racist
friends.
and morally corrupt and everything else, let's talk about my
yeah.
topic.
Yay!
Yay.
Okay, go to the PowerPoint that's only halfway done, and also this is going to end very abruptly.
No, it'll be fine.
No, it's going to end abruptly. I'm just warning everyone. It's
Okay.
whatever.
Do you want to tell people what we're doing?
Yes.
We
okay.
already know this time, but
I feel like,
Oh,
you know what? We're going to make this a two-parter. I've just decided
You
my next
are?
one will also
Okay.
be Salem. Okay.
okay.
So don't even worry about it. It's going to be a
That's fine.
two-parter.
Okay.
All right. Today, friends, we are talking about Salem, and specifically the Salem Witch Trials of the late 1600s. All right. So my main
my
sources...
cat's about to knock over an entire stack of books. She's being a dumb little demon brat.
Dumb demon brat. TM.
Okay, there we go. She's done.
So my sources are Wikipedia, and then also a really good article from the Smithsonian Magazine.
I love the Smithsonian mag. They're great.
I love the Smithsonian period. I tried to be like a high school intern there, and they did not want me. But it's fine.
You can do remote internships with the Library of Congress. They're fucking boring because I did one,
No.
but you can do them.
Yeah, but I didn't care about that. I cared about the Smithsonian.
No, I know. I'm just saying. It's available.
Not the same. All right, let's talk about Salem,
Okay.
which is super duper close to me. Actually, I should see how far away it is.
It was only a couple of hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause we
I
were
live
gonna
really
go.
close. I only live like an hour from Boston.
Yeah, and it's only like 20 minutes away from Boston, so not
An hour
even,
and
I
11
don't
minutes.
think. There you go. It's only 11 minutes away from Boston.
Oh wait, no, it's
Yeah.
closer than Boston.
There you go.
How did I get to Boston in an hour? I sped.
Yeah, we know the answer to that question.
Whatever. At least I have a valid license and license plate, so now.
My license is still expired, but they keep extending the expiration date, so I have until February now.
Your license?
Yeah, my license. They
I
extended
just
it until
renewed mine
February.
online.
I
and they
can't.
sent me a new one.
I
Oh,
can't.
that's right.
They want me to take a new picture, so I can't.
Dumb.
It's very
Okay.
dumb. Whatever.
So Salem.
Okay, it's over. Want to break?
Um,
Yes, Salem.
Salem. You can go to the second slide.
Okay.
Oh god, I'm barfing. I just ate so much hummus. It was a mistake. But it was delicious. God, I could just
There you
drink
go.
hummus. I used to hate it. I used to say that it was a disease because it kind of looked like gross pus, sort of. But it's so good. I lived all those years. Oh god, little did I know.
This is disgusting.
I like it.
Well, shut
I
the
liked
hell your
yours,
mouth.
Hannah. The one you make is good, Hannah.
Thanks. I used what's that called? Smoked paprika.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
Anyway.
Salem. Let's talk about people who don't know how to spice any of their food.
Seriously.
These white people. Okay. So Salem is a coastal city in Massachusetts, in Essex County, and it's located in the North Shore region. It was settled by Europeans in 1626, and Salem would go on to be one of the most significant seaports in early American history. So it was like a big deal. There's a lot of historic stuff there. There's the House of the Seven Gables, or of Seven Gables, Salem State University, which one of my friends went to. Pioneer Village, Salem Maritime National Historic Site, Salem Willows Park, the Peabody Essex Museum, and the Federal Street District and the Charter Street Historical District. So, if we think a little further back before 1626, in the 1300s, Europe started this
Way
grand
back.
crusade. What?
I said we're going way back.
Yes. Europe started to freak out about witches. Let's
Yes,
just
they
say
did.
that. So up until like the end of the 1600s, they were just freaking out about witches, and everyone
they
was a witch,
were.
and your neighbor was a witch, and burn her, she's a witch, blah blah blah. So tens of thousands of supposed witches, who were mostly women, by the way, were executed in Europe.
Yeah.
So let's go to America. Next slide.
Yay.
All right, so the drama
America.
began in 1698, and guess who started it? Don't look at my slide. Just
I
guess.
already did.
Okay, Shelby,
What?
guess who started the drama? Which European nation?
England.
Yes, the British.
You also put British drama Google search in our group chat, so like
I know.
you ruined the thing. But
Well, it wasn't
it's
really a
fine.
surprise.
No,
but
I honestly didn't think of that. It's just, it's always either France or Britain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they were the most dramatic. That's okay. Yes, in the Google, I was
Occasionally
trying
Spain.
to search, like a
And
picture
occasionally Italy.
sometimes, but I was trying to. Oh, Germany a lot. Did you say that?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
I didn't.
Russia,
but Germany
all the
is more
time.
like modern time, I feel like.
Well, if you're looking at more colonial stuff, it's Britain, France, Holland, Portugal, and Spain. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so Britain and
Yeah.
France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Britain.
I
and
don't
France are still
consider
okay.
Russia part of Europe. Meh.
Well, tell that to the Moscovites. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, the other day I was looking. I don't know. I was looking something up, and a Google search. I think I sent that to you guys, and it said like, "What did Russia do to Poland?" And it was just the
Yeah.
saddest Google search ever, because I read it like, "What did Russia do to Poland?" Okay, wait, but back up. What was my other Google search that I was just talking about? Oh, I typed in British drama because I wanted a picture that like encapsulated British people being super dramatic and petty about the colonies. But all it brought up were like movies and TV shows.
Yeah, you could have done like a Hamilton still, and that would have been good. Like
I thought
a King
about it.
George.
But
I
anyway,
like
here's the
George
port of
Washington.
Salem instead.
Yes.
So this is actually from the 1700s, so technically it's a little further than our
That's okay.
yeah, but whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so William and Mary, you know, the monarchs, started a war with France and the American colonies, and it was called King William's War. I think that was in, 1698. And it ended up displacing a bunch of people from upstate New York, Nova Scotia, and Quebec. So all of these war refugees, which I just realized I spelled wrong,
Yes, you
refugees
did.
with two E's, ended up in Salem and the surrounding areas, and they created a very like intense strain on the resources there. So then all the little rich people started freaking the fuck out. They were like, there were family feuds that started happening because of the lack of resources, and different, like, what's the word? I don't want to say aristocracy because there wasn't one, but like different high ranking in like class standing.
Just like a class war
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
It was kind of, but it was like just the rich people were mad at each other, and they were like, "You
Oh.
ruined our crops," and shit like that. So they were all mad at each other and just being really rude. And one of the things they fought about was the new Reverend of Salem. So, Reverend, oh God, what was his first name? I didn't even look.
Forever in Parish.
It's Reverend Paris, but I don't remember.
I don't remember his
name.
first name either.
Did they even tell us his first name? Oof, I might throw
I
up.
don't think I've ever heard his first name.
Is it Samuel?
Honestly, it's probably John. Let's see, Paris.
Although Samuel does sound right, but that's probably
I'm
in my
gonna
head.
look. Control F.
It's Samuel.
P-A-R-
I just Googled it,
you're
it's
so
Samuel.
Smart.
I remembered something. Look at me.
Ooh.
Also, just real quick question. What year was this war?
My notes say 1698, but now that seems wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Well, I don't know.
What was
Let
the
me-
name of it?
Let me double check. Everyone
Okay.
shut up.
Here we go.
No, 1689. Did I say that? I said 98. It's 89.
Yeah.
1689.
Okay.
Woo!
Point of order. Like, that sounded wrong, but
Everyone, calm down about it.
we're good.
Okay.
It's all good.
Like I said, this is gonna be, in the words of Emma Farley, very fuck ass. Sorry about it. Okay.
Fine.
So Reverend Paris was Salem's first ordained minister, also I wrote 1689. Is that true? Who knows at this point? Probably not.
I think so.
I literally got out of
I think
school
that's
and
right.
got home at,
Hang on.
what time? 4 o'clock? And
Yeah,
then,
I think that's right. I also should say this was like the Salem trials and everything was like my first like obsession, so I actually know a decent amount about
please
this.
jump
So
in.
yeah, it was 1689, so you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Reverend Samuel Parris was ordained and became the minister of the church TM. We're talking Puritans here.
Yeah.
So he was kind of a dick. Everyone hated him. He was pretty greedy and really rigid in all of his like rules and rituals and stuff. And so
Which is
people were
saying
like,
something because they're already
yeah,
Puritans.
because if you're rigid by
So, like,
Puritan
the
standards,
Puritans, how much
seriously.
more rigid can you be?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so yeah,
Ugh.
he was kind of horrible.
Yeah.
So that's one main reason why people were fighting, because they're like, yeah, he's too strict for us, and we're Puritans. So, okay, let's see. Some historians believe that, okay, so we're going to talk about her in a second, Ann Putnam, but some believe that the accusations by Ann Putnam, she's a junior, by the way, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
You never hear of girls being juniors.
That used to be more common, like way back in the day. Like, I think it wasn't just Anne; it was a couple of the other accusers were also juniors.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're all girls, but yeah, that used to be more common. Not as common as male, obviously, but especially within, I think, especially within like the Puritan and Pilgrim like communities.
I think
Yeah, it's
parents
because
back
I
then
think
just
they
didn't
can
like to be
only...
creative.
I know. I
That's
was just
part
about to
of
say
it,
they can
yeah.
only have
there
four
are only
names.
like 5 names that they could pick from. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. You'll
Also,
see in
it
a
had to be
second.
like a biblically related name. half
Yeah.
the
I'm
time.
not
There's
even
only-
kidding. Every single person in this is named Sarah.
Yeah.
There's like
Yes.
6 different Sarahs,
Yeah.
and none
Sarah
of them.
and Mary.
They're not even
and-
different spellings. They're all Sarahs with an H. Every single
Yeah.
one.
Well, yeah, that's the one that was in the Bible, so they can't take the H off. That would be the
You
incorrect
can't even
spelling.
be creative with it.
No, you can't be creative with the Bible.
What name?
But
did I
also,
see
which
today?
translation of the Bible?
Heresy.
Because, is there an H on it in Hebrew?
I doubt they were using any kind of Hebrew Bible.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna be obnoxious about it, at least be accurate.
Okay, so Ann Putnam Jr. They think that she was one of the accusers with that Paris girl because there was a feud between the families.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a vicious rivalry underway between the Putnam and the Porter families, one which deeply polarized people of Salem. Citizens would often have heated debates which escalated into fully fledged fighting, so like bar fights in the alley, my favorite, based solely on their opinion of the feud. So just because if you were like on the Putnam side and not on the Porter side, that could get you punched in the mouth.
Like, you weren't even part of the feud, it just...
Yeah, you weren't
was,
even part of
like,
the feud.
your
You were like, well, I
opinion.
think.
This is why I don't like small towns, because like shit like this could happen in Freeburg now. Like,
it does,
it does.
regularly. Bar fights in the alley.
Yeah,
You think they don't happen?
I hate small towns so much.
Well, this was like a quote-unquote big town.
Back
mean-
in
For
the day.
they
the
were,
time.
but it was
But-
also very
But Puritans are very,
insular.
like, tight-knit.
Yeah, very
communities.
insular. They
Yeah.
wouldn't let anybody in who wasn't a Puritan, and they only know each other.
know.
So like,
I
they're
I
all
wish
really
I had-
hope that at some
in
point
everybody's
throughout
business.
this, you are going to talk about the Vavitch.
I would love to, but I think that'll be for part 2.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I love that
just
movie so
because-
much.
I do too.
I
That's
know
like the
you
only
do.
horror movie I actually like.
I literally live in those woods.
Although to be fair, it's like the only horror movie I've ever actually seen. So
Yeah, you need to like broaden your horizons, friend.
I already have too much anxiety for that
I'm not
nonsense.
sure it really counts as a horror movie, to be honest.
To me, it does. So
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess.
that's not true. I've also seen Crimson Peak, and I liked Crimson
That's
Peak.
true, 'cause
Please,
you and I
is
saw
just
that in
Tom
theaters.
Hiddleston booty,
Yes,
the movie.
It is actually a good movie, though.
it is.
really good.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
it's a
started
horror
The
movie.
Haunting of Bly Manor yesterday.
I was just about to say that I'm about to start it.
I am not. So.
But I did not watch The Haunting of Hill House, so
Oh,
I
Shelby,
feel
it's
like I
so
should.
good.
Well, the thing is like, my friends who watch those things with me don't ever come over to my house, and I'm not watching it by myself.
Let's
Actually,
have a
that's not
Netflix
true.
watch party.
I'll watch it. Yes, let's do it.
Shannon, you're not invited.
Oh,
That's
also,
fine. I
fun
wouldn't
fact,
have gone anyway.
before you start, the little girl in Bly Manor, she does the voice of Peppa Pig.
Oh my god.
So you already know she's
That's
evil.
funny.
That's my
funny.
cat's name.
Yes.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
Salem.
Back to Salem.
Alright, so everyone was mad at each other, and they thought that all of this quarreling might be the work of the devil.
The devil.
Not just people being nosy assholes. It had to be the devil.
No, it was the devil.
Yeah.
It's always the devil, Shannon, don't you know?
Yeah.
Don't you only fight when the devil provokes thee?
That's true. I must get provoked a lot, but
Devil's got it out.
You would-
for you,
we'll
Shannon.
let that one go. So
I'm gonna tell you in a minute which of these women you were and why you were put to death.
I don't like that you already have this planned.
Well, I didn't think about it until just now, and now it all makes sense, and
Great. Okay.
I know exactly which one you are.
Okay. Let's move on.
Okay,
I probably
let's
know
go.
too.
I
I
wanna-
just haven't
I
reviewed
want a
this.
witch.
I haven't reviewed this as soon as, or as recently as you have. Anyway, we barely talked about Salem, so how about we go back to Salem?
Yeah, back to these stupid white people. Oh, we're about to talk about a native person, but okay.
There you go.
So, back to this. All right, so everyone was already distrustful of Paris, the Reverend Paris, because
I thought you
they
meant the
thought,
city.
yes, everyone hated Paris, France.
I mean,
They were
they wrong though?
They probably
No.
did because they were
Paris with
English
2
Puritans.
R's. Probably.
Yeah.
Those heathens in Paris.
The worst.
Okay, so, actually, yes, they did, because they just had that war.
Yeah.
These are British colonists.
Yeah.
Whatever, it doesn't
You don't
matter.
even need to name the war. They've just always been at war. Pretty much always.
They had that one war with those one French people, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so, back to this. Okay, so, everyone was already really distrustful of Paris because they thought that he was, like, some people, like, people on that part of the feud, on that side of the feud with the, what were their names? The,
Putnam and Porter.
Putnams and the,
Porters.
the other ones? Porters.
Porter.
I said it. It's just
said it
hard
like
because
3
they all start with P. I heard it. I heard you,
Okay.
and then I stopped listening to you, and then I said it.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so then his daughter and one of his nieces started to fuck everything up. Basically, I don't know how else to put that.
That's a pretty good
They
way.
really started stirring the pot, as it were. So in January of 1692, Elizabeth called Betty. She was 9, and Paris's niece Abigail Williams, who was 11, started having, quote, fits, where they would scream and throw things and, like, crawl under furniture and make weird noises and do, like, exorcist yoga. And they started to complain of being pinched and pricked by pins. And then another girl, Ann Putnam, started doing the same thing. Like, a bunch of other girls in town started this. And the local doctor said, sorry, hold on.
Did he claim
my God.
hysteria?
No, he said
They were
that
too young
it was
for
something
that.
supernatural.
You're never
And
too
he should
young.
not have been a doctor, in my opinion. But he was
Wait,
like,
what did
yeah,
he
this
say it
is...
was?
Couldn't he, like, not write or something? He could only read
Well,
or something?
okay,
I don't
here's the
remember.
thing. They only have a guess at who this doctor was. They
Oh,
don't
so
know
that's
for
even
sure which
interesting.
doctor. Yeah, so it might have been that guy, but it was like, we think that he was the one who said it, but we're not really sure because no one wrote
Yeah.
it down.
Interesting. All right.
So who knows? It's lost to history.
Yeah. To be
so
fair,
then
no one back
on-
then should have been a doctor, so, like...
Yeah,
yeah. It's
yeah.
fine. Whatever.
So then on February 29th, the girls were pressured by the magistrates Jonathan Corwin and John Hathorne. And a quick aside about this, Nathaniel Hawthorne was related to this John Hathorne, and Nathaniel Hawthorne added the W to his name to represent the word wicked because he definitely did not approve of what his ancestor did. And then he is also the one who wrote the Scarlet Letter, which, okay, really quick, we can cut this out. But I had a student the other day yeah, especially if he hears this. I had a student the other day, and I was like, oh my god, what? Because I always ask him a question of the day, and my question of the day was, what's your favorite book, parentheses, don't tell me you don't read. And they were all like, I don't read. And I was like, okay, literally, first of all, says you can't say that. Second of all, pick a book. I know you had to read something to pass high school.
Yeah.
And so we started talking about the Scarlet Letter, and this one kid is like, is that where, like, there's, like, a red A that, like, floats around and follows her? Okay. You clearly did not read that book.
No.
You were doing so well for about 2 seconds
funny.
there.
But thanks for your input.
That's funny.
Anyway. We were all like,
boy.
no, it's not. Okay, anyway. So, back to this. So, Jonathan Corwin and John Hathorne are the magistrates, and they're pressuring the girls to name who bewitched them. So these little idiots named 3 women. Tituba, the Paris's Caribbean slave. Okay, it says Caribbean, but also I think that she is it's hard because nothing is accurate.
Yeah.
I think she is like a South American native, but who was born in the West Indies,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was led to believe by
Yeah.
the Wikipedia page.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Good, she's a homeless beggar, and Sarah Osborne, who is an elderly, impoverished woman. And then I said, like, wow, pick on someone in your own class, why don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Why would we do that?
these little brats. Ugh, anyway,
They knew
okay.
that these women would be
Easy targets.
easy. Yeah, exactly.
But
Very
also,
Yeah.
easy
like,
targets.
was I that vindictive as a 9-year-old? Probably.
I can't
like a-
imagine.
It's just such
I-
a different culture. Like, it really
know.
is.
Because, like, children back then at 9 were basically what our, I don't know, 17-year-olds are, because
Yeah.
they had, like, jobs and shit, and
Well, and like back in the
That's
day, especially back then, like people didn't have a concept of children being children. They just saw them as like short adults.
yeah,
And so they treated
were
them
like,
adults, you know? And
no,
so,
they treated them like adults, but also not adults, because they were
Yeah,
definitely the
there was some
majority of you had children to have a workforce in your house.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's the purpose of them.
Yeah,
and then if they live
exactly.
to adulthood, great. Then you can, like, give them your land and shit when you die. But otherwise, get outside. It's daylight. What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. A 9-year-old was about 2 years away from getting married, so.
Dude, I just listened to a story on... I don't remember. Oh, it was about the Bell Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman who they think was the Bell Witch got married, I think, at 14.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's just
God, that's
yucky.
like my worst
That was
nightmare.
normal.
Oh, I know, but
I
what made it
know.
worse was her
Yeah.
husband was, like, in his late 30s.
That was
Again,
what was
still
normal.
but like,
Yeah. I mean, basically,
No,
once-
it wasn't, because they were like, it was weird. I don't know. It's all gross.
I think
hate
it was more common if, like, he was a widower. He would tend to marry someone who was way younger, but your first wife wasn't typically that much younger than you, because you were also getting married at the age of, like, 16.
yeah.
You know, so that may have been why. I don't know. I don't remember the details
Did
of
he
that one.
have an heir yet? Or was
Yeah. Was
she
he running
there
out of
to
time?
provide a
Yeah.
child?
Yeah, so... Yeah. But yeah, these women were just easy targets, and they would have known that they were easy targets. Plus, the Puritans were unbelievably gossipy. Like,
Yes.
Yes.
Good God. That's all they did all day, because that's all, like, they had nothing to do. All they did was sit around and gossip all day. They heard it, you know? Like, yeah.
Sorry, apparently there's a motorcycle parade outside my window.
No, it's okay.
Okay, continuing. Let's
Yes.
talk about the first 3 who were accused. So we'll start with Sarah Good, because she was the first one on my list. So she was a destitute woman accused of witchcraft because of her reputation. At her trial, she was accused of rejecting Puritan ideals of self-control and discipline when she chose to torment and scorn, quote, chose to torment and, what? Okay, hold on. Okay, back up. Everyone, stop. At her trial... Okay, can I tell you something really quick?
We're an hour in.
Okay. My professor was telling us the other day that she was reading some kind of, like, teaching theory or whatever, and people who actively change things while they're reading, because that's what I do. It's not that I'm misreading the words, it's that I'm changing it in my head because I think it could be written better, are actually smarter than regular readers, because I'm an active reader, not a passive reader. So just so everyone knows, when I read out loud and it sounds like shit, it's because I'm trying to make it better. In real time.
Because she's smarter than you.
I'm not
just
saying this
saying.
to be mean, but that was one of the most pretentious things you've ever said.
I know, but I'm saying it just to make myself feel better.
I know.
Because I always feel like shit about it,
Oh, man,
and
that's
I'm
funny.
really just trying to pump myself up, because I
Yeah.
hate reading out loud, and it makes me feel so stupid and insignificant and like such a fraud, because I'm supposed to be an English teacher, but here I am and I can't read. But
I can't spell either, to be fair. That's not
I
gonna
know.
help, but
that is
Okay,
like
you can
that's like
write. That's all
a
that
brain
matters.
problem.
You can
That's
write.
a problem.
I know.
I think I have a tumor where my spelling thing is supposed to be. But I'm telling myself this out loud to you right now, so I feel better
Okay.
about myself. Just let me have this
It's
one
fine.
thing, Shannon.
No, I was just, like I said, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I mean, I don't know how you could take it any other way, but I was.
I know.
Anyway, continue.
At her trial, we're talking about Sarah Good. Remember, everyone is named Sarah, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
At her trial, she was accused of rejecting Puritan ideals of self-control and discipline when she chose to torment and, quote, scorn children instead of leading them towards the path of salvation. So, like,
I don't
I
What
don't
does that
know,
mean?
just get off my lawn? I don't know what they wanted from her. She didn't even have a house, like, why did they care?
She had kids, didn't
just
she?
some... Sarah Good? I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay, because I'm reading Scorn Children as, like, my version of Scorn Children, which is I have never having children, and they would have read that as
Oh.
bad. But that's obviously
I thought
not
she
what
just
they
yelled
meant.
at them.
Yeah. Scorn to
That's
me
like-
means, like, avoid, which I know is not necessarily the correct reading of scorn. You know what I mean? Or, like, push away.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that
wait,
doesn't
this
make
is
any
Salem.
sense because she had kids. Maybe it was just that she, like, lectured them incorrectly. I don't know, they're
Where is
fucking
she?
Puritans. You
Sarah
could do
Good.
anything wrong.
Sarah Good.
I think she
Blah,
had.
blah, blah.
I think she had children or a
Theories
child.
behind the accusation: Good was of a lower economic status, reduced to poverty due to debt of her first husband.
Because was
no,
she?
she has children.
Yeah.
Oh,
was she the
she
one
does
whose
have
daughter
children.
was in
Yes.
prison
Okay. Stop.
with her?
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Shh.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. So we'll get to her in a second. I totally forgot.
Okay.
Yes. Disregard that. Don't listen to Shannon. All right. So then Sarah Osborne. So Shannon, this is you. You're Sarah Osborne. She rarely attended church meetings, and she was accused of witchcraft because everyone believed, all the Puritans believed, that she had her own self-interest in mind when she remarried, like, an indentured servant guy. Basically, she wanted control of her son's inheritance from a previous marriage, not like to control him, but just to like have it because he was too young to have it. And everyone was like, wow, she's just being too independent and we must shut her up.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought of you. How dare she try to assert her
I mean, even
dominance.
just the rarely attending church meetings is me.
Yeah,
like,
I
that's
mean,
not
that
an
would've
in-
been-
No, I know,
like that's not an inaccurate statement.
Yeah, it's not like a statement on your moral conscience
No.
or whatever. It's just
No,
like you
it's
just
a
happen to
factually correct
not
statement.
go to church.
I'm trying to think the last time I went to a church service that wasn't a wedding
Was Ashley's... Oh, never mind.
no, that wasn't a wedding, and hers wasn't even a full Catholic mass. That
It was
thing
not.
could have been fucking ridiculous.
That was a light Catholic
Yeah, that was a
ceremony.
That was Catholic
Yeah,
light.
thank goodness that was
That was a
not...
Lutheran ceremony.
Yeah. Yeah, a few years ago, my stepdad's mom forced us to go to church on Christmas. And that was when I was working overnight. Mark and my mom were both sick, and Allie was on crutches. So that was just a hot mess and a half. So
Why would
I'm
you
still mad
drive
about
the
that.
invalids
Because
to
actually,
church?
Mark and Maddie didn't go because Mark was too sick. So me, Mom, and Allie went. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? We're not even your
Are you
blood
serious?
relatives. Why are we here? And those assholes are staying home. Oh, I was
That
so
cracks
mad.
me up.
And they're in, like... my mother calls this church a cult. It's not me saying this. It is my mother saying this. And she says it in front of them. It's a weird... I don't even know what it is. It's some kind of Protestant group. But it's
Is
a
it-
weird
Yeah, you're
church.
asking the wrong person
Episcopal?
because I think that all Protestant churches are cults, but that's just me.
Well, Protestants think that Catholics are cults, so, like, what are you gonna
Listen,
do?
we kicked them out of our church, so they got it all backwards. Martin Luther recanted on his deathbed, just so y'all know.
Anyway, I don't remember.
I mean, sorry, Hannah, but I think Catholics are cults.
I think all
Okay,
religions are cults, so...
we
But
do
also,
act
I
like
was raised
vampires,
Baptist,
but,
so,
like, don't know what to tell you.
hardcore cult.
Well, I mean,
Who
it
is?
technically cannot be a cult because cults have that living leader that is revered, so technically it cannot be a true cult. But I think all religions have cultish tendencies to them.
Well, yeah.
Just to make it a blanket statement, I think all religions are cults. So there we go. I'm the middle ground here.
Are
Listen,
you?
that is such a logic. I literally just taught logical fallacies. You just used the middle ground
I know,
logical
I
fallacy.
did.
That was like
I
how you are in law school, for God's sake.
I was trying to make a
Listen,
point.
everyone in my English 401 class, that was the middle ground logical fallacy. We talked about it. It was the example with vaccinations. Keep that in mind for your test that you're
I
never going to
wasn't
have.
using it as a logical fallacy. I was saying I'm the
Well,
one
it
bridging
turned
the
out
gap.
to be one. It doesn't matter. No one uses a logical fallacy as a logical fallacy.
I wasn't even making
It's
a
a
point.
fallacy, yo.
I wasn't even
That's the
making a
point.
point other than I think all religions are cults.
How is that not
Like,
a point?
Well, no.
What?
I was saying between the two of you, I'm the one that covers the most ground.
I just don't understand what's happening right now. Let's move on. Okay.
Anyway.
Basically, don't be Puritan.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Ooh,
I don't know
alright.
what just happened.
I don't know. I
Anyway.
think we're in a fight, but I'm
Other
not
than
sure.
I drew a bunch of dots on my face.
Oh, man. It's fine.
So the next one, okay, and I never know how to say her name because when we learned it in high school, it was Tituba, but it's spelled Tituba. Yeah, right? What?
The, like, Anglican pronunciation is Tituba. I don't know what the non-Anglican pronunciation would be.
I wonder.
Because
let
I've
me go
only
back
ever
to
heard
Wiki.
the Anglican version, honestly.
Yes, I'm going to go to Wikipedia and see if it has no
Does it
pronunciation
have it
guide. Perfect, great.
IPA.
I've been let down. Shelby, it's not on there. I looked.
Gonna find it anyway.
Okay. Oh, see? Okay, here it is. Yes, she was an enslaved South American Indian woman from the West Indies.
Okay.
Alright. Oh wait, I literally put that in here. Why do I even try? Okay. So she was probably targeted for this because she was not white.
And was a
and
slave.
she had ethnic, and had ethnic differences besides that, like cultural differences and stuff, from the other villagers. She was accused of attracting the girls like Abigail Williams and Betty Paris with stories of enchantment from this book called
Maleficarum.
Which, thanks, I
Yep.
can't read. Like I
It's
said,
the Malus
I am
Maleficarum. Or Malleus Maleficarum, I'm not sure.
Malice, I don't know, whatever. So they were about like sexual encounters with demons and how to like sway the minds of men and fortune telling and all that stuff. And it said that this, like, she told the girls about this stuff and then they were like, oh, well, she's a witch, you know. And that's kind of how they got all of these ideas about witches, was from those stories and from that book and stuff.
Although, to be fair, just as kind of a counter argument to that, they would have known what witchcraft was, regardless
That's true.
of her giving her
Yeah.
this information.
They just used it as like fodder, for sure.
So-
yeah, exactly. They would have known what witches were, though.
Yeah.
From what I can find, it is pronounced, what is it? Where is the emphasis? Tituba, but informally it's pronounced Tituba.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be like TIT and then UBA, essentially. You make it
Yeah.
that instead of like Tituba. It's Tituba. That makes no sense
Those
to anybody
sounded the
but me.
same
Yeah.
to
I
me.
know. Tituba. I know. Sorry, the linguistics person in me can hear the difference, but ignore me. Whatever, it's fine.
Today, because I work in special ed, we had a kid who we're trying to, like, what we teach in special ed, depending on the kid's the kids' level of communication. We're just trying to teach functional communication, so like they can ask for help or ask for a bathroom or whatever. And this kid, we were trying to teach the word fork, and he kept saying bork, and it was the cutest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. He's a little baby.
All of my
Bork,
like
bork,
2-year-olds, we had a book where like one of the words in it was spoon, but because they can't say their S's yet, they always just called it a poon.
Oh, a poon.
Or they'd call it a foon. A foon.
You know that poon is like for vagina, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but when it's coming from a 2-year-old, it's
just
cute.
the way Hannah said it.
No, because you know what I was thinking of? Listen, hear me out. Here's what I was thinking of. So there's this movie on Netflix called Danger in the Manger. Wait, what is it? Nativity 2,
What?
Danger in the Manger. It's a
Okay.
David Tennant movie. So shut the hell up.
Lord.
And it's all about, he's like a teacher and they go on like a Christmas adventure with his like choir class or whatever.
Okay.
And there's a little kid in it. They like they fucking find a donkey. I don't know. It's so bizarre. They find a donkey and it starts pooing outside. But the kid, because they're so British, the kid sounds like he's saying, "The donkey's pooed all over the front step." And so Emma and I say that to each other, like Poon, as in like past
Yeah.
tense of, or like the gerund form of poo, but without the ing. It's just
Oh,
n.
man.
It just ends in n. So the donkey's pooed all over the front step. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
So again, that's Danger in the
Interesting.
Manger 2, oh no, fuck. It's Nativity, Danger in the Manger 2.
Okay.
Thank you. It's really cute, actually. It's a Christmas movie,
Man.
clearly. Anyway, poon.
Oh, Lord.
So, these 3 women, so again, Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba, were brought before the local magistrates and interrogated for several days, and this all started on March 1st, 1692. Osborne claimed she was innocent, as did Good, but Tituba started confessing. She said, quote, "The devil came to me and bid me serve him." And then she started describing like black dogs and red cats and yellow birds and a quote black man who wanted her to sign his book. So that's something.
Oh, sorry.
So the
I
witch.
have a way to explain it of like how you could do the name different.
Guys, we're over
Okay.
an hour and I'm so
I don't
tired and
care.
sick. I have to edit
But no,
this.
it's like basically because you know how when you go from like a T to like a Y sound, you make the CH sound. So instead of saying like what you say what you.
Yeah.
Take out the CH and make it a hard T, and
Tituba?
then Tituba is
Tituba?
how it should technically be said.
English is so fucking weird.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I had. Okay. Moving on.
Black
Shane
man
tells
who
us.
wanted her to sign his book. She admitted that she signed the book and said there were several other witches looking to destroy the Puritans, and then all 3 women were put in jail. So then things escalated. ... Okay. In March, yeah, you guys can go to the next slide.
Okay.
And I didn't even fucking finish this shit. This is not even close to everyone. Yeah, we're gonna stop at my relative, and then we'll be done, and this will be a 2-parter, like I
Okay,
said.
that's fine.
All right, so first we have Martha Corey, and these are in no particular order, just what Wikipedia gave to me. So Martha Corey was like, okay, so this was really weird that she was accused of being a witch because she was super duper pious, and she attended every single church service there ever was, and she had been admitted to the Salem Village Church in 1691. She did disagree with the witch trials. She was like, there's no witches or warlocks, and she was like, this is just silly, we need to just everyone go back to church and be cool about it. But they were not cool about it. So she in her trial, the girls started mimicking her every movement to pretend that they were being controlled by her. So like if she scratched her face, they would do it, and then if she like any movement, any minute movement she made, the girls would do it too. And then Mercy Lewis, who was another accuser, cried out during the trial. There's a man, he whispers in her ear. So, like, I don't know, there's a devil behind her or whatever. And then John Hathorne asked if it was Satan, and she said yes. And then Martha Corey, and that Martha Corey had a yellow bird sucking on her hand, which they said was evidence to persuade the guilty of her jury. What? The jury of her guilt. My brain died.
I don't know if you're gonna bring this up, and this is related to the topic. They allowed spectral evidence, which is why all these women.
That's probably going to be in part 2.
And Giles. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Just because.
Yeah, I'll talk about
we
Giles,
kind of
Corey.
skipped over just some context that I think we kind of need.
Yeah, we can talk
Because we
about that
kind
really
of just
quick.
jumped into Corey. So, like, these 3 women were thrown in jail, but then the girls were still exhibiting symptoms, I suppose, if you want to call them that. And so, even with these women in jail, they were continuing to accuse people around town of witchcraft, which is how we ended up with so many victims.
So, this is probably this is probably what has been stressing me out about this, is I just didn't know how to format this
it's
information
hard.
because it's so much going on at once, and there's so many
hard.
like cultural things you need to think about.
Yeah.
So the way I was going to break it down, and this, I don't know, it kind of happened this way, but not really, was I was going to talk about all the people accused, but then I also wanted to go into their story, so it just became like a big long thing. And so we're definitely going to talk about spectral evidence and witch cakes and all of that good stuff and the trials. But for now, I'm mostly talking about what they were accused of doing, and if they had anything like specifically said about them in trial that was like really fascinating that I thought we just couldn't live without.
Okay.
But yes, thank you, Shannon.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Okay, so we'll skip that. Blibbity blah, blah blah blah. Martha Corey also had an illegitimate son who was mixed race, so that probably had something to do with why she was accused. Just saying.
It probably did, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Dorothy Good. So, all right, think back to Sarah Good. Dorothy Good was 4 years old when she was accused of being a witch. She was, at age 5, the youngest person to be jailed during the Salem Witch Trials, but she was accused when she was like 4 or 5. So the magistrates and like the witch hunters and whatever the fuck, which we will, oh my god, I should have talked about those first. Okay, whatever.
It's fine.
It is what it is.
It's fine.
Came to her house and were like, hey, so are you a witch? And she's like, well, my mother gave me a snake and it drinks blood from my finger. And they're like, yeah, she's a witch. Put her in the cart.
She's also 4.
She's also 4, and 4-year-olds are so dumb. You could say, like, I can't even... 4-year-olds are so
Also,
stupid. I hung out
it's
with
probably
5-year-olds
the
all
way
day
they
today.
asked the questions were very leading.
Yeah, they were
Oh, yeah,
probably
they
like,
were.
do you have a familiar? And she's like, well, I do
Yeah.
have a pet snake. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, is it real? And she's like, no, it's invisible. And they're like, witch.
She was also raised by a homeless woman who lived outside of Puritan society.
Yeah,
So,
so,
like,
was a
so,
little
like, her-
cuckoo banana crackers.
Exactly. Well, plus, like, yeah, her mom was known to, like, just randomly, like, rant and rave at people on the street. That was a huge part of the reason why she got picked as a
Yeah, 'cause
witch.
she was like, you guys are so stupid.
Yeah,
But-
like they all thought she was crazy, and so like this child is being raised by a crazy person, quote unquote, like, and she's also 4.
Yeah.
Like it's just
And
yeah,
4-year-olds have crazy imaginations.
Yeah.
So yeah, she probably did think that she had a snake that drank blood out
Yeah.
of her finger,
Okay,
but it was probably
my
like one
friend-
time she played with a worm in the garden or
Yeah.
something.
My friend at the daycare, she works there as well, but she works in the 4-year-old room, and they literally have a section of their wall that, I don't remember exactly what they titled it, but it's essentially like shit our kids say.
yeah,
And it is the most off-the-wall, crazy nonsense.
yeah,
And they like write it out and put it on their wall just because it makes them laugh. Like,
Today one
Four-year-olds
of
say
our
the weirdest
kindergartners
stuff.
told another kindergartner to, quote, shut the fuck up, but neither of them knew what it meant, and they giggled and kept playing. And then we were like, we need to have a talk.
yeah, yeah. It's
So,
just
like-
I don't listen to anything 4-year-olds say. That's not true. But
Yeah.
if it's about fantastical beings, don't listen to what 4-year-olds are saying.
So, they took the statement about the snake to mean that was her familiar, which is like a witch's spiritual servant that does things for them. Alright, so little Dorothy here. She was in custody for, wait, how many months is that? March, April, May, June, July, August, December. For 6 months. But she was never tried, and she got out and was fine. However, her mother did have another child while she was in prison, Mercy Good, and she unfortunately ended up dying as a little baby.
How does she keep getting pregnant?
She was probably pregnant before she went in.
Mm.
She may have also been, like, raped by a guard. Because she was in
think she
prison
was
for a
pregnant
very
before
long
she
time.
went in.
True,
But-
yes. But she was in prison for a very long time, so
That's
definitely
true.
an option.
Yes,
Because that happened quite often.
Yeah.
Happens. I literally just wrote I'm writing a book about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, and
No,
plus
I
if she was
made
like the town crazy lady.
Yeah.
Because who would believe her?
Exactly.
She's a woman who has ideas about things!
Yeah.
God. We can't be
Alright.
having ideas.
Moving on. Okay, let's talk about Rebecca Nurse. So Rebecca Nurse was the oldest person accused and arrested. She was often described as an invalid, so she was like super duper old. She was 71, which in Puritan times is about 137.
I was gonna say that's ancient.
I mean,
Yes.
can I go on just a little tiny historian
I know exactly what you're
spiel?
going to say, and I didn't mean it.
No, we might not be talking about the same thing. Like, people lived they still lived very long lives back then.
I know,
The
we're
only
talking about the
reason,
same thing.
okay, the only reason the average like life expectancy was so low is because so many people died when they were children or younger. That is the only reason why. It was fairly common to live to your 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just drives me nuts.
No, I know. If we're playing like the law of averages, then
Yeah.
she was 137.
Well, and just like it's just a very common thing for, especially like on, like I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. And a lot of them talk about stuff that happened way back in the day, and they're always like, "Oh, they were 60, they were actually 100." Like, no, that was that was a normal age to live to. Like,
I know.
ugh, it just bothers
I
me.
know exactly what you
Sorry,
mean.
continue.
I know it's a common misconception. I was just
Yeah, it's a very common
Again,
misconception.
this is the fuck ass episode, so there are no facts in here. So often described as an invalid. What the fuck? Invalid. Okay.
There you go.
So let me just scream that. I hope my neighbors can hear me. Invalid. So she was quoted as saying, quote, "I am innocent as the child unborn, but surely what sin hath God found out in me, unrepented of."
There we go.
I'm losing my mind. That he should lay such an affliction on me in my old age. That was the end of the quote. Okay, she was found not guilty at first, but then the judges asked her a question of, I think it was about Sarah Good. I can't be sure. I didn't read. And they asked her this question, and they were like, well, what about the other... They said something about the accusers, and she was like, yes, they were totally right. They're blah, 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 they're innocent, they're right, whatever. But she was, like, super hard of hearing, because she's 71,
Mm-hmm.
and they meant she thought they were talking about, instead of, like, the girls who were accusing her, she thought they were talking about Sarah Good, and, like, one of her... Maybe I got that backwards. Wait, let me read the Wikipedia page again. Cut this out.
Okay.
Sarah Good. Where'd you at?
Why aren't you looking for Rebecca?
Oh, wait,
Nurse?
no. Rebecca Nurse is what I
Yeah.
meant to say. There you are. Okay. She did that, blah, blah. In the end, they ruled her not guilty due to... Okay. Yeah, they also wrote, like, a bunch of, petitions for her to try to get her out, and everyone was like, you can't, she's an old lady, she's so nice, blah blah blah. Okay, the jury asked Rebecca to explain her remark that another accused witch, Deliverance Hobbs, that's the one I was trying to ask you earlier if that was a man or a woman. It's a woman.
Yes.
If Deliverance Hobbs was, quote, of her company, the implication being that they had both signed a pact with the devil. But Rebecca was hard of hearing and she did not hear the question. And she later explained to her children that she was referring to this woman as a fellow accused witch, not someone of her company, as in, like, in my coven kind of a company.
Gotcha.
So even
Miss
after
Sadie?
they declared her
Jamie?
not guilty, the jury went back and they were like, just kidding, you're gonna die. And so they sentenced her to death.
Of course
what
they
were you
did.
gonna say?
I just said that's a very vague and misleading question and would no longer hold up in court. That's it.
Okay, but one, they're using the British judicial system,
No,
and
I know.
two, they're fucking stupid and paranoid.
No longer
and they
hold
believe,
up.
They
I know.
believe a 9-year-old who says, someone is pricking me with pins!
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's just because your bed's made out of hay and y'all have lice. Like, you're not...
Yeah.
There aren't witches!
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I will
so-
cut this part out if you're gonna get to it later. But something from what I remember of this anyway, like I said, I haven't reviewed this as recently as you have. From what I remember,
I said like 2 hours ago.
well, last time I reviewed it was several years ago, so I'm going off of pure memory here. From what I remember, for the most part, it was only people who refused to confess who were actually executed, and people who did confess were basically like forgiven and set on their merry way. Like Tituba, she was never executed, and she confessed from the beginning. Yeah.
That's for sure, because that's what happened to Giles Corey, because he was like, no, I'm not playing your stupid game.
Yeah, and like we
that's
get
what happened
into
to
that.
Susanna Martin. She
That
laughed at
happened
them
with
and they were
all
like,
of
witch!
It was all of the people who were killed. They refused to confess to being a witch. The people who were accused and did confess were set free because they were seen as being like repentant of their sins. They were guilty
so
until
stupid.
proven guilty, basically. I mean, they didn't really have any... This entire thing is just a miscarriage of justice, but whatever. And we can get into
we'll talk
that
about the
more.
trial.
Yeah, that was why I didn't know if we were going to bring that up later.
Yeah, we can keep this in too, because that's good info.
Yeah.
Don't cut it.
Well, and it just helps with more context and stuff. Even with Rebecca Nurse, like, even if,
that's...
you know, like, her mishearing a question leads to her dying because she didn't answer it the way that they
She was a 71-year-old old woman.
Yeah, it's not even mishearing. She just misunderstood a question because she's hearing it in her own context of, I am an accused person. They have a context of her being a witch. You know,
Yes.
and it's just a mismatch
And
of
it's
those
really
contexts.
vague language
It's
also.
very vague language.
That's why I couldn't even explain it in the beginning.
Yeah, it's really
because
vague.
it was so vague.
It's so vague. Yeah.
Anyway, she has a... because no one really knows where she's buried.
Yeah.
But she has in Danvers, which is formerly where Salem Village was, she has a monument that it says Rebecca Nurse, Yarmouth, England, 1621, Salem, Mass, 1692. O Christian martyr, who for truth could die when all about thee owned the hideous lie, the world redeemed of superstition's sway, is breathing freer for thy sake today. So it's from a poem by John Greenleaf Whittier called Christian Martyr, and I thought that was very nice because
it is.
it's really sad what happened to her. Like a lot.
Well, I mean, they were basically...
I mean, the whole thing is sad.
Yeah, they were asking these really pious people to completely reject their own religion and say, yes, I am a witch. Because by doing so, you're rejecting your entire religious upbringing.
I know,
Like,
and the whole
that's such
time
a
you
hard
are
thing
in
to ask.
like you are told time and time again, you will be tested, you have to like stand by your
Yeah.
faith, you have to prove
Yeah.
that you love God and love Jesus and blah blah
Exactly.
blah. And then they're doing the same thing that they like preach again, that they preach will happen to you, and when you uphold your faith and you uphold your God and religion, then it all comes crashing down around you
Yeah.
because that means that you're a witch.
They were forcing these people to become religious martyrs. Like, there was no other way around it, because the only other way is to completely renounce your religion, and as a Puritan, that's, I mean, like, the worst law...
The worst thing you could
Yeah,
do.
like, they had religious crimes as worse offenses than murder. Like, this was the worst that you could do. So, like, this whole thing just pisses me off still. It's been pissing me off since I was 9. So, like,
It's been
clearly.
pissing you off since 1692.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. Do we want to end it there? I mean, I have a lot more.
We can
but,
keep
like,
going. I mean, there's a lot I'm going to have to cut. So, like, we can keep going if you want. And I'm, like, powering through now because I'm getting mad. And it's, like, letting me power through.
Good. Yeah, I thought that's why I wanted to focus on individual stories, because a lot
Yeah,
of
I
times
like
when you
doing
listen
that.
to these things, it's like, oh, and then the magistrate, blah blah blah, and then they talk about them for a while, but I don't really care about them.
Yeah, they
because
suck.
everyone always talks about them.
Yeah, and they
I
suck.
care about the people it happened to.
Yeah, well,
you know
then
what I
even
mean?
then, like the main person that gets talked about is Giles Corey because he was the one who was killed in the weirdest way.
I am going to talk about
quote-unquote.
Giles Corey
No, I
because
know.
he has the best
No,
death
it just
line.
pisses me off
anyone.
that this story of women, we focus on the guy. It pisses me off.
Oh, I know. He was like, there were 2 men that were executed.
Out of the 19 total, and we only focus
Yeah.
on one of the men. That's it.
Yes.
It pisses me off.
Because everyone else was like a wife or like a
Yeah.
homeless woman, and we don't care.
Yeah, it makes me really mad. Yeah, I am glad that you're going through every single, like, not every single, but as many of them as you can.
But, because literally there were so many, so I'm
and
not
then,
going to
like,
do, because it was like the whole
some of
fucking
them-
town.
Yeah, some of them we don't have information on either.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, because it was
Like-
like some farmer, and they were like, "You're a witch because your cow died yesterday," and he was like, "No, the cow had a disease," and they're like, "Okay, goodbye."
Yeah. That or
And that
they're
was
just,
it.
the records were lost, or, like, the people themselves were illiterate, so they weren't keeping their own records. Like, there's just a lot that's gone, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, so let's go on then to. So that was Rebecca Nurse. Also, we're going to talk about her sister soon.
Oh, I forgot her sister was accused too.
Both sisters.
Yeah,
She had
I
2 sisters who were
forgot.
accused.
Ugh.
But we'll talk about them in a minute.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Rachel Clinton. So Rachel Clinton wasn't actually from Salem proper. She lived in Ipswich, Massachusetts, but it was pretty close by.
Mm-hmm.
And she was accused by Mary Fuller that she had caused the death of a neighbor simply by passing them. So just like walked past the house and they dropped dead, and they were like, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be a witch." Not, the scurvy that you've been dying of for days because
And
there's
I
no
remember when you
sunlight
had
here.
scurvy.
and- I did have scurvy my freshman year of college. This is a PSA to all of you college students. My freshman year of college, I started experiencing what could only be described as the symptoms of scurvy. My gum line started to recede. I was like deathly gray, and I hadn't eaten a fruit in about 2 months. So I drank
that
an
would do
entire
it.
2 gallons.
Because, I mean,
drank a
scurvy
big-
is just a lack of vitamin
Yeah,
C.
that's all it
It
is.
is. I drank a gallon of orange juice and I was cured. I felt so much better. I wasn't
It's just like-
feeling sluggish and gray anymore.
It's just
But,
so
like, I just stopped eating
associated
fruit.
with, like, pirates that you don't think about people getting scurvy anymore.
Yeah, it's like a sailor disease because you don't got any vitamin C or D out on the ship, and
Oh,
so
man. That's not what I
anyway,
have.
drink orange juice.
Yeah, that's not what I have. I know I don't have scurvy.
Sure.
Well, are your gums receding into your skull and are
I
your teeth
eat
a little bit
fruit.
loose?
So I don't have scurvy. And no, I do not
Honestly,
I
have
did
I'm
eat an
surprised
applesauce
I've never
today.
gotten it because
Seriously,
I haven't
you
eaten
avoid
a piece of fruit
like
in
the
my entire
plague.
life.
You hate fruit. Yeah.
I hate fruit so much. It's disgusting. That's not true.
understand
I
that.
have eaten it before, but I actually had applesauce yesterday.
Oh my lord.
I had applesauce today.
So,
Okay, can I tell you really quick what my lunch was
Yes.
today? And I felt like a literal kindergartner. I had an Uncrustable.
I miss
had
those. I miss peanut butter so bad. You have no idea.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
I miss peanut
So I had an Uncrustable. I had a
she's like, "Oh, yeah, that
cheese
sucks."
stick. I had one of those squeeze packs of applesauce.
I love those
And I had-
things.
2 sugar cookies. They were shaped like one was a pumpkin and one was a cat.
I bought one of those like little like
And I'm an adult.
I bought one of those single servings of like those like I don't remember the brand, but it's like those fruit juice smoothie things that have like all those vitamins and shit in them.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't remember what the name of them
what
are,
was
but they have a whole
V8
bunch.
things?
No, it wasn't V8, but it's a similar
no,
thing
it's
to
the
that.
it's like the mango one I
They
always
have like
get.
a mighty mango, and the one I got was like Power C or something. But like, I have to
Yeah.
check all of those because half of them, actually more than half of them, have banana and or zucchini, and I can't have banana or zucchini. This one didn't. It was just like apple and
So
mango.
Shannon has this thing where like she is tangentially allergic to everything on the planet because of one allergy that she has.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So like, I'm allergic to what are the ones that actually affect it? So I'm allergic.
what's like the big one?
It's ragweed is the one that is my.
Okay, so she's
big
allergic
one.
to ragweed,
I'm
and that
allergic
makes
to
everything her
ragweed,
allergic to everything
And
else.
so because I'm allergic to ragweed, and I think it's because of my mold allergy too. It's due to another allergy. I
God.
don't remember which one, but because of those things. When I eat certain foods, my stomach thinks I'm eating that allergen, so I get really sick and I throw up like violently. It's really bad. So I can't have peanuts which that's a relatively new one, and I'm still kind of adjusting to it, and I still kind of risk it because I eat candy with peanut butter in it constantly because that shit is not real peanut butter.
Shannon.
It's not real peanut butter. It doesn't give me a stomach.
I know, it's mostly sugar.
Yeah. So I can't have peanuts.
It's like coconut oil.
I can't have any nut, actually, for the most part. I can have, like, processed, like, shredded coconut, because whatever they do to it, they just process the shit out of it.
But, like, why would you want that?
I like coconut.
That's disgusting. It's like,
okay, let's move on from this.
it's like eating toenail clippings.
Okay.
That's what it looks and tastes like.
Okay, well, I like coconut, so just back off, please.
Okay, that's
Gross.
disgusting.
Okay, I can only eat, like, 5 things at one.
What? Wait. What are those potatoes called?
What are you talking
that you,
about?
like, cut really thin and, like, bake in a thing with, like, cheese and stuff.
Oh, gratin?
Potatoes.
Yeah, but, okay, both are correct. You're both right.
Yeah.
That's, like, my worst nightmare. As an Irish person, how could you defile the potato in that way?
I don't really like scalloped potatoes, so I'm with you on that.
Hate everything about it. It's like, why don't you just boil up some foot shavings while you're at it? 'Cause that's what it looks like.
I'm not a big, like, texture with food doesn't really bother me that much for the most part. It does for a few things.
It's not even the texture, it's just it looks like fucking foot shavings from
Okay,
the
I'm
manicure
sorry.
place.
I don't know. Anyway, I cannot have peanuts, most tree nuts, actually any. I just don't eat nuts, just to be safe. I can't have bananas, zucchini, cucumber. Sometimes I can't have pickles. I can't have any melon or shellfish. And I think that's it. That's it.
I can't drink tap water, and
come
I
to
have
me,
to
I
check
guess.
absolutely everything for
'cause
fake sugar.
Shelby's allergic to fluoride and artificial sweetener, so I think hers is worse than mine personally, but...
Yeah, because they've started not labeling things as sugar-free because they'll put stevia in it, and I'm allergic to that too.
How are you allergic
Just because
to
it's
stevia?
natural. It's because of the way they process it or something, but, like, it still gives me a migraine. It's not as bad of a reaction, like, I don't throw up with it, but I still get, like, a really bad migraine, and I'm already prone to migraines. I don't need more.
Yeah.
I'm not allergic to anything, so...
I'm allergic to so many things, which is why I constantly
I'm
sound
allergic to
like
fluoride.
I'm constantly sniffling and coughing and have the most nasal voice on the planet.
Although, I do break into hives from reading. Have I told you that problem
That
I have?
sounds more like a stress reaction.
It's not even stress. I'm not even stressed when I'm doing it. I just, if I am, like, really in the zone and reading something, I will break into hives.
That's weird.
Like, my friends have seen it. I do break into hives when I'm nervous, but also when I am like really intensely reading. Like, I'll be reading a story, and it's not like a story I even have to comment on. It's just something that I'm reading for, like,
for fun,
my leisure or whatever, and I will break into, like, full chest and face hives. It's so fucking weird. Because, like, I'll come up from my office and people are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And they're like, "Well, you're covered in hives."
I wonder if your body's just, like, equating having fun reading with being nervous.
With being stressed out.
Yeah.
Like, calm the fuck down. It's a fake story. You don't have to go for a night swim in Anne Wright's piece. Night swim. Okay, sorry, that was a really deep cut. No one's getting that. My lit friends out there, everyone read Anne Wright's short story, The Night Swim. It's very good. I read it yesterday. Okay, wait, what are we doing?
I don't even
we're talking
remember
about
what you're talking about.
We were talking about Rachel Clinton.
Right, yes.
Who killed someone by walking past them. So another witness, accuser, I guess, of Rachel Clinton said that, or his name was Thomas Borman, said... where did he say? When they were in a meeting house together, where, quote, some women of worth and quality had accused Rachel of, quote, hunching them with her elbow. So, for some reason, I guess that makes you a witch. I don't really know.
What is that? What is that? What does that mean? I don't understand.
Hunching them with her elbow. Does that mean, like, tapping them? I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know.
What does that mean?
Hunching doesn't involve another person.
I know.
That's not what hunching is.
Did she just, like, elbow them in the stomach and they hunched over?
Verb. Okay, push. Oh, it means to, like, push to elbow someone.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
That's what I thought. Because that's
like,
in context, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I was just... My brain stopped working again. It's only working in spurts, and this was not one of the times it was working.
To thrust out a hump or protuberance. No, but the one above that says to push or jostle with the elbow, to push or thrust suddenly. So I guess she like was elbowing a bunch of people in a meeting house, like get out of my way.
Yeah, that
Maybe
makes
there
you
were
a
like
witch.
some crab cakes, and that turns you into a witch apparently.
We should make
So
like
then-
a BuzzFeed style quiz where it's like, would you be considered a witch in 1692?
Have you ever? Yeah, like
No matter how many
like-
things you check, the answer is yes.
yes. Well, because some person, was it Susanna? It might have been Susanna Martin, stepped over a puddle of water and didn't get wet, and they were like, witch killer,
Oh my God.
take her out. This 60-year-old bitch. Anyway, so blah blah blah, some women of quality. Okay, so then Borman, that accuser guy, Thomas Borman, further alluded that she was able to shapeshift into creatures that included, but were not limited to, a dog and a turtle.
All right.
So,
I mean, I wish I could.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I want to be a turtle.
I don't. You get hit by a car so quick, or like an eagle takes you away. It's just, it's hard.
I
to be
mean,
a
you're
turtle.
assuming that I'm not using my human brain while I'm in turtle form.
You can't stop an eagle
Well-
with your human brain.
Yeah, Shelby,
But I
like-
know not to cross a road and
Weirdest
get hit by a
sentence I've
car.
ever said.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. The eagle doesn't have to be near the road. The eagle can come get you wherever.
Okay,
Eagle
it's
just
an
needs a
eagle.
turtle.
It was an either or situation, okay? I was addressing one of the situations, not both. Okay?
There are a lot of things that want you dead as a turtle.
Yes.
So then William Baker, who's another accuser, lost a shit ton of beer. I don't know how. I
Okay.
don't know if that means that he like physically misplaced it or if it like spoiled. I'm not entirely sure. It just says that he lost a great quantity of beer.
It's funnier if he misplaced it.
I know, he just forgot which barn he put it
Yeah.
in. But anyway, he then accused Rachel of doing this by supernatural means.
Okay.
So what else did they do to her? Okay. There were like a ton of allegations against her because
They
again,
really
this
didn't
was
like
in
this girl,
Salem.
did
This
they?
was this was Ipswich. So like the whole town of
Oh, right.
Ipswich was like, get this bitch out.
They really didn't like her.
She was also alleged to have passed people in the street and yelled hellhound and whore masterly rogue at them. I don't know what that means.
I mean, that's
But
what I
why
yell
are you
at people
highlighting
on
my
the
shit,
street.
Shannon?
But
What?
I said, why are you highlighting my
I do
shit?
that randomly. I'm sorry. I just do that. It's just a thing. Don't worry about it. We don't need to unpack this right now.
But good news about
Shannon's
Rachel.
got
She
some issues.
survived. She survived all of it.
Good.
She did. I think she went to jail for a little bit, but she got out.
Yeah.
So then Sarah Cloyce. So she was, if we think back to Rebecca Nurse, she was Rebecca Nurse's sister. So again, this is like a super old lady. They accuse these three sisters who were incredibly old. And they were just like, yeah, let's just get rid of them. But luckily for Sarah, she was accused but not indicted, and she also, she got out. She was good.
Okay.
She's good.
Cool.
She's good. And also, who accused them? Did I ever say who did that? I'm pretty sure it was Betty Paris
Okay.
who accused them.
Yeah.
She recanted on that and felt so bad about it later on.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever girl did it, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm making shit up, but whoever was the main accuser of these old women, like, felt incredibly bad afterwards. Which good, you should.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, so Susanna Martin, this is my relative. So she was at her crime was of quote witchcraft and sorcery. She pled not guilty because
Duh.
clearly she was like, I think she was like 60 years old, so they called her like Goody Martin and stuff because, you know, back in the day. Ooh, we should do, okay, side note, for one of our book clubs we should read Young Goodman Brown,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's if we ever do
Okay.
that. We still don't have a page.
Oh, right. If you guys start paying us money,
Yeah.
we'll do a book club for you, and it's going to be so much fun because I heart literature.
Yeah.
And Young Goodman Brown is a really good story. Okay, moving on. Didn't Nathaniel Hawthorne write that? I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm positive he did. Okay. Susanna. Okay, so Susanna and the other accused were not allowed to have counsel. I don't know if I definitely didn't say that actually.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so so the original court record book has been lost, but Cotton Mather, who was another Puritan minister, recorded the testimony. And so this is what... Oh, did it say there? Oh, yeah. So this is what he wrote during her trial. So as soon as she came in, Marcy? Yeah, Marcy had fits. Magistrate, do you know this woman? Abigail Williams saith, it is Goody Martin. She hath hurt me often. Others by fits were hindered from speaking. Marcy Lewis pointed at her and fell into a little fit. Ann Putnam threw her glove in a fit at her. So Ann Putnam is like throwing shit. And then Susanna laughed. That cracks me up. She's so great. She just laughs in the middle of her trial. Because she's like, this is such bullshit! So then the magistrate, what? Why do you laugh at it? Martin says, well, I may at such folly. And then the magistrate says, is this folly? The hurt of persons? And then Martin says, I never hurt man, woman, or child. And then Marcy says, she hath hurt me a great many times and pulls me down. Okay, get the fuck over yourself. And then Susanna started to laugh again. So, poor Susanna Martin, who again...
I like the voice effects you did.
Yes.
I know, I wish I had done it better with more force.
That's okay.
You know, maybe I'll practice for next week and reenact it, like, really dramatically. I'll use the Vivitch voice.
There you go.
Yes. Proper accent and everything.
Yes.
God, that movie was so good.
Okay, we're talking about it next week for sure. Everyone watch it as homework.
Yes.
Okay, anyway, Susanna was twice forced to submit to physical examinations for evidence of a witch's tit or physical protuberance, which might give milk to a familiar. So basically like a mole. They were looking for like a weird...
fucked with that because I'm covered
Well,
in those.
more like a skin tag, I guess.
I also have those.
Did I ever tell you I had a skin tag in my armpit once and I just ripped it out?
Dude, I've ripped off so many of those fucking things. You have to.
I just use my razor and shave them off.
Sometimes I clip them
Bleeds
with
a
nail
little
clippers.
bit, it's fine.
Like, I have
my
to.
blood,
I have so many.
Shit done.
Nothing
okay,
on me
so
or in me
anyway.
works the way that it is supposed to. Like,
I know, you are special. So, no such deformity was found in Susanna Martin, but it was noted that, quote, in the morning, okay, this is weird, quote, in the morning, her nipples were found to be full as if the milk would come, but by late afternoon, her breasts were slack as if milk had already been given to someone or something. So they use this as, like, this is why you're guilty, lady.
did they measure her boobs before this? Like,
honestly,
I don't understand.
the Puritans were such fucking perverts. It's
Like...
Let me find her. Where is she?
Oh, man.
I gotta see how old she is. I'm pretty sure she was 60 years old.
She wasn't young. Like...
No, she was
Yeah.
she was like an older lady.
Yeah.
Wait, I copied it on accident. Susanna.
She was 70.
She was 70.
Yeah, she was 70.
What?
There she is, Susanna Martin. Why don't you have that? There you go. Okay. Yeah, age 70.
She was 70.
Yeah, okay, because a 70-year-old woman
Is capable
is
of
still producing
breastfeeding.
milk. Breastfeeding, I don't know. What should it be? Like a snake or a dog?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, so I want to again.
I don't even
okay,
think
so the
her body could still be producing milk.
Because it was
So
by
again,
magic.
Susanna was an impoverished widow.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like just a sad old lady, and
I
why you gotta be mean to my grandma like that?
I do love how she did not take this seriously at all.
I know, she laughed the whole fucking time.
I feel like she
and they were
knew.
like, she must be a witch.
Yeah, I feel like she knew that no matter what she said, she was going to be found guilty anyway. So why not just be
And
like,
she didn't really care.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'm already 70. Leave me alone. This is ridiculous. She has a good attitude.
So she, this guy named John Allen of Salisbury, which, if you're of something, just get out of my face. So apparently she bewitched his oxen and drove them into a river nearby where they all later drowned. Like, okay, sure.
I'm sorry, have you met a cow? They are dumb.
A wolf could have done that.
A
Like,
literal,
they
you could just
probably
step on a
one
branch and they freak
started-
the fuck out. One
Yeah.
got stung by a
Right, like,
bee. That's what
yeah.
happened.
They stampede and then they
Yeah.
all run into the water and drown. Like,
Yeah.
cows are stupid.
Yeah.
So poor Susanna was like, she was really pious and quoted the Bible all the time, and even in her trial she did this, and they were like, well, I know that we already decided that witches can't quote the Bible, but we're going to change our minds and say that the devil's servants can put on a show and, you know, pretend to be innocent and godly, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
There was just, yeah, this whole thing is just absurd to me. But,
I mean, it is absurd.
yeah.
Oh, and this is how I'm related to Chester A. Arthur. I totally forgot about that. President Chester A. Arthur. This is our common ancestor, is Susanna Martin.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact.
Interesting.
I don't really know anything about him besides that.
I don't either.
Just
Literally,
see if
until
we
you
can
said
just find
president,
it.
I was like, who is Chester A. Arthur? Like, I knew the name.
Yeah, what did he do? He was the president for, like,
He wasn't a,
did nothing
like, an
in
important
the 1880s.
one. Like,
No, nothing really
yeah.
happened.
Oh, that's funny.
All right,
Yeah.
anyway.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. All right.
Don't walk past your neighbor's house if they're dying, because you'll be accused of witchcraft.
Yep. Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Wait, are we ending this? Oh, bye.
Yes, say goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for listening to The Triad. Our music is by Scott Buckley. Our audio is recorded by our sound engineers, Craig Bott and Audrey Credo.
If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Tumblr as The Triad Podcast. Our website is thetriadpodcast.wordpress.com. There, you can find information about our latest episode, including the show notes and sources.
We're also on Patreon as The Triad. Currently, all Patreon funds will go towards the cost of hosting the show. Each tier has its own rewards, but every patron receives our undying gratitude. Do you have comments, questions, or stories? Email us at thetriadpod@gmail.com. And thank you again for listening to The Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive.